Very good morning, dear viewers. I am Dr. Vishwakumar, working as a professor in medical college. I am actively involved in academics as well as research activities. So this video is being done with an intention to share my experience in the research activity concerning the COVID and its treatment and its outcome. So this is done actually, this particular research activity was carried out during the second wave, and then it was not very congenial to carry out the clinical trials due to various limitations because it was a rampant pandemic and all. But to explore certain possibilities in the light of knowledge of biochemistry, I carried out this research as a pilot project. I can rather call it as an investigator-initiated project. So it is done in a very small size sample, and I have chosen the patients who are already positive, who are confined to home, who are in home quarantine, and of course the particular trial involved those who are positive and also the primary contacts at the home who are residing along with the one who is already positive. The primary contacts as well as those who are already positive in the home quarantine. So to carry out this study, the particular molecule that I have chosen, it is not something which I have designed. It is not a newly evolved or discovered or nothing of that kind. It is being used to treat a different clinical condition for many years and for many decades. So the same, which means that the drug which is being used to treat another clinical condition, the safety is very much established. So on these grounds I have chosen this molecule because of the safety factor, and I have carried out the trials, a clinical trial in the name of a pilot project, giving this particular preparation to the patients who are already positive, who are in home quarantine, and also for those who are primary contact in the same family. So this concept, we call it as a repurposing of the drug. So which means that the safety of the drug is very much established, which is being used for many years. Only thing is it is being used to treat a different clinical condition. So just like there are many such examples, like aspirin is being used, it's a painkiller and it is being used to prevent the blood clot in cardiac patients and those with the brain stroke and all. So similarly there are many such examples. So in the same lines, I have chosen this molecule on the repurposing principle to see the efficacy of this drug to be used as an adjuvant therapy in addition to the whatever treatment that is being prescribed by the physicians. I don't say that this is a substitute for the actual treatment of the COVID, which is being suggested by the whatever treatment is being given, advised by the physician. I don't say that what I'm going to talk now, it's not a substitute. It's an adjuvant therapy. Under no circumstances, I am not suggesting to purchase this drug over the counter to see for themselves to anybody. So it is to be taken only under the supervision of the physician. But because of the harmless nature of the molecule, I wanted to share my experience in the public domain through social media and other platforms. And coming to the actual molecule, the one I have chosen, this is nothing but a synthetic bile acid preparation. So you know bile acid is the one which is being produced in the body, and the purpose of the function of the bile acid is to digest the fat content in the diet that you take. But sometimes synthetic artificially prepared bile acids are being prescribed by the surgeons and gastroenterologists and also physicians. So with the purpose of dissolving gallstones. So the patients who are said to have gallstones, particularly if these gallstones are made up of cholesterol, these synthetic bile acid preparations are supposed to, when consumed, when they are being treated with this, they are supposed to dissolve these gallstones. Of course, it has been successfully tried in many patients, and when the gallstones are purely made up of the cholesterol, this is found to be effective. But apart from that, the same synthetic bile acid preparation, when it is employed in treating, when you consider it as an adjuvant therapy in treating the COVID, the outcome was very encouraging. And there are few reasons for choosing this molecule. One is it imparts a little alkaline pH. The blood pH is 7.3 to 7.4. And bile acid, it imparts a little alkaline pH. And a slight shift towards alkaline pH is very much unfavorable for the virus to bind and to multiply to form virions, we call it as. So rather, multiplication of the virus is favored very much in the acidic medium. So a slight imparting slight alkaline pH by using this molecule makes it unfavorable for the virus to multiply. And another reason is when certain other studies were carried out, like we call it as a docking studies, it revealed that these particular bile acid preparations, they were preventing the binding of the viral protein, the spike protein of the virus, which is binding to the leukocytes, receptors, so that it can bind and then integrate into the cell and then multiply. That's how the infection starts spreading to become a disease. In this process, this particular synthetic bile acid preparation is supposed to prevent this binding of the virus with the cell, spike protein, which is on the outer surface of the virus, with the receptor of the white blood cell. It is preventing. So the binding itself is being interfered. And this multiplication is also not favored in the presence of the alkaline pH. And another reason for choosing this molecule, which is found to be beneficial in this clinical condition, is whatever the infection is, our body responds by producing natural weapons. And these natural weapons in the body, we call them as antibodies. So these antibodies, they try to eliminate the whatever harmful bacteria or virus, or we call pathogens, and they try to neutralize this and then eliminate this, and we call them as the reaction between antigen and antibody. Antigen is that which is an integral part of this virus or bacteria, or whichever is a microorganism that is causing this infection and disease. And antibody is the one natural weapon which is produced in our body. So these antibodies, they fight out to neutralize and eliminate these pathogens. This is causing microorganisms. So same thing happens even when there is an infection with a COVID. But here, this body immune response appears to be more exaggerated, and this exaggerated immune response by itself is seem to be causing more damage to the tissues. It is like, collateral damage. In a response to fight out the infection, the exaggerated immune response seem to be damaging the other tissues of the body, including the lung and this parenchyma and the surface of the internal pleural membrane, this alveolar membrane surface where the gaseous exchange takes place. So here, so to put it more simply, this antigen-antibody reaction itself is in the process of eliminating the virus is also causing damage to the many structures. So in an attempt to minimize this damage, steroids are being prescribed in these cases of the COVID, which we all know many patients have received steroids liberally. But here, another feature of this synthetic bile acid is, like I told you, it prevents the binding and also it prevents the multiplication. And during this inflammatory process, the inflammatory damage is mediated by certain chemicals, and this synthetic bile acid it appears to be binding to these inflammatory mediators, these chemicals which are released to cause this inflammation. They are bound to this synthetic bile acid, and this exaggerated immune response and damage that is likely to result from the immune response is also minimized in the presence of this particular synthetic bile acid preparation. In medical terms, we call it a cytokine storm. So because of certain other chemicals like interleukins and all, in medical terms we call it as, such things were, they appear to be neutralized in the presence of this bile acid preparations. So I found the relevance of this synthetic bile acid in choosing this as an adjuvant therapy because of all these beneficial effects at every level, starting from the binding of the virus to the level of multiplication and to the level of causation of other collateral damage because of the immune response of the body. So this particular molecule, it is available in preparation, oral preparation of 150 milligrams and 300 milligrams it is available. Number of brands are available. I need not name any brand. It is a synthetic bile acid preparation which is available in both 150 and 300 milligram preparation, strength. And I have chosen to give this 300 mg preparation twice a day for about 10 days to the patients who are already positive. At the same time, with an intention to prevent the same thing is given even to the primary contacts in the family. So to my surprise, I found all the cases which were positive, they turned negative. And additionally, none of the primary contacts, in all those who are found positive, in all those who are confined for the home quarantine, all the family members, all those primary contacts, none of them turned out to be positive on receiving this synthetic bile acid preparation, which was given to them with an intention to prevent. So there is a very preliminary observation, and there is a lot to be done, and we need to conduct a clinical trial in a larger scale, and we need to record the parameters before and after, and definitely to really to make it as a protocol in the treatment of the COVID. Definitely it needs a long way to go, but still this video is being recorded with an intention to share my experience with my fraternity, my colleagues, and also every other doctor, and also the general public who are in need of this, because in the wake of recently we keep hearing that new cases are emerging here and there, which are being reported across. So I thought it could be of some help under given conditions, and this is being shared with you all. And I hope for the better outcome in the days to come. Thank you.